Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, classmates. I am Miss Roxanne Yugto, a Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education, major in Social Studies. Hope you have a great day today. And for now, I am going to discuss to you about learners with difficulty in communicating, learners with difficulty in walking and moving, learners with difficulty in self-care. These three are my topic, and for now, I am going to discuss to you first the learners with difficulty in communicating. Learners with difficulty in communicating. The common condition that affects children communication include language-based learning disabilities, attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactive disorder, cerebral palsy, mental disabilities, cleft lip or palate, and autism spectrum disorder. Those are the conditions that can affect of the children's communication towards each other or towards other people. And let's proceed to the next slide, which are the 5 ways to help children with communication problem. Number 1, read books together. It can be difficult for a child with speech and language problem to share their thoughts and ideas with the world. When you read with your child, encourage them to name objects and read words. It helps to strengthen your child's speech and language skills. It enables the child to familiarize words when reading books. Number 2, describe your environment. During the day, it's important to spend a great deal of time speaking with your child. Describe the activities you share and the objects that fill your environment. This enables the child to familiarize things that they saw in their environment. 3, use a variety of words. When you use a variety of words to describe objects, you trigger the learner's mechanism in your child. Naming colors is both your primary language along with a second language can help your child practice and exercise their speech abilities without a pediatric neurologist. And number 4, sing out loud. If your child has a condition that makes it difficult for them to speak, you may want to consider singing. Also, singing can enhance the child's language skills. Number 5, sign everything. Using sign language when naming objects or speaking with your child can also help boost their ability to use language to communicate. While this is a necessary step for deaf children, it can also be helpful for children who have difficulty speaking for other reasons. So those are the 5 ways in helping children with problems in communicating. Next slide is communication difficulties can be caused by hearing loss, chromosomal condition Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, stroke, traumatic brain injury, and head and neck cancer brain tumor. Now, let's proceed to the next slide, which is learners with difficulty in walking and moving. When a child has difficulty in walking and moving, the physical domain of development is affected. In the next slide, I will show you the physical disability that can cause difficulty in moving. First, developmental coordination disorder refers to significant and persistent deficits in coordinated motor skills that are significantly below expected typical development. Difficulties are manifested as clumsiness, slowness, and inaccuracy of motor skills. These deficits can impact a child's academic performance and other daily activities. Children with disabilities like this can often bump into obstacles, they can be messy eating, and they have difficulties in using pencil and scissors. The next one is stereotypic movement disorder. Stereotypic movement disorder is a condition in which a person makes repetitive, purposeless movements. This can be hand waving, body rocking, or head banging. The movements interfere with normal activity or may cause bodily harm. Stereotypic movement disorder is more common among boys than girls. The movement often increases with stress, frustration, and boredom. The next one is cerebral palsy, caused by a problem with the brain that happens before, during, or soon after birth. The brain can either be in damage or not develop normally, although the exact cause is not always clear. Problems before birth. Cerebral palsy is usually caused by a problem that affects the development of a baby's brain while it's growing in the womb of the mother. This can also affect the child development. The next slide is the classification of cerebral palsy. There are four classifications. The first one is monoplegia, affects to one limb, usually an arm. And the next one is hemiplegia, affects one side of the body, arm, leg, or trunk. The third one is diplegia, affects symmetrical part of the body, legs, or arm. And the fourth one is quadriplegia, affects on all four limbs. And now, let's proceed in the last topic, which is learners with difficulty with self-care. Let's define first what are self-care skills. Self-care skills are the everyday tasks undertaken so children are ready to participate in life activities, including dressing, eating, cleaning teeth. They are often referred to as the activity of daily living. While these are typically supported by adults in young children, it is expected that children develop independence in this as they matured. And now let's proceed in the next slide, which is if a child has self-care difficulties, they might, number one, be unable to feed themselves independently. Number two, required more help than others of their age to get dressed or undressed. Number three, find it difficult to tolerate wearing certain clothes. Number four, struggling to use cutlery. Number five, need adult to open food packaging in their lunchbox. Number six, refuse to eat certain foods. 7. Be unable to coordinate movements to brush teeth. 8. Required extensive help to fall asleep. Number 9. Choose the toilet only at home where there is adult support. Number 10. Be late to develop Independence Day time toileting. And the last one is show limited motivation for independence in self-care, so they wait for adults to do it for them instead.
What can be done to improve self-care skills? Here are visual schedule of the steps involved. Rewards chart for independent completion of task or attempt at in the early stages. First is small steps, breaking down self-care skills into smaller steps and supporting the child through each steps so that in time they can do or more for themselves. So in this case, dili nato dali-dalion ang mga bata into bigger actions kay in mga small steps dira sila makabalo ug unsaon nila gihandle ilahang self-care. Next is routine. Use the same routine or strategy each time you complete the same task to help them learn it faster. So, kailangan sila nga naa sila daily routine sa mga activities so that they can master it early. Next is consistency. Be consistent with the words and signs used to assist the child and keep instruction short and simple so that they can get it directly. Next, allow enough time. Ensure that there is enough time available for the child to participate in self-care activities without feeling rushed. Like for example, ilang daily routine is to brush their teeth, taking bath or eating their foods. Dili na to sila kanang dali-dalion kay in their own way makabalo ra na sila niya how to manage themselves. That's all for my report. Thank you for listening and hope you have learned something.